This is the SF Productions Podcast Network.
Hours in the movie theater we will never get back.
From the Pop Culture Bunker, I'm Mindy.
And I'm Mark. You can check out our audio podcast, How I Got My Wife to Read Comics, on iTunes or on our website, sfpodcastnetwork.com. We don't go out to a lot of movies, actually to the theater. There's kids yelling and adults talking and they're texting and they got their phones on.
And all the ads before the movie. I mean, it's not even just like the, slide ads anymore. It's like literal commercials before the movie. Right.
To the point where you go to a theater, you can almost, if you don't care where you're sitting, you can show up 20 minutes after the showtime and the movie has not started yet.
Yes. So it's much easier for us to just wait till they come out on a DVD or streaming and watch them on our big screen because we have a theater at home.
Right, exactly. It's just generally not worth it except for blockbusters where the giant movie theater screen counts.
Yeah, no, I'm glad we saw Gravity on the big screen.
Right.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But
so you want those hours in the theater to count.
Mm-hmm.
And we were reminded of this because we were recently visiting my mom, and she wanted to go to a movie. And so we went to August Osage County.
Because she loves Julia Roberts and Meryl Streep.
Yes. How this got Oscar nominations, I don't have a clue. It was a horrible movie, and we all three thought it was horrible.
Yes. Now, don't get me wrong. I think the acting was good, and maybe Meryl and Julia deserved acting, but the story itself was horrible.
Well, the actors somehow were of the impression they were on the stage for like a stage production, because it's based on a stage production, and there was just huge overacting the whole time. We just hated it.
We hated the movie. But I wanted that time back.
Yeah. So it gave us the idea to talk about some other films we wish we had skipped.
Yes.
I'm starting with Wired, the John Belushi story, 1989. I'm a big fan of the original Saturday Night Live. I happened to see that movie during a vacation.
I didn't go with you.
This was
probably before we
met.
I don't know.
Right. It's the only movie that I can remember that I've ever walked out of. It's disgusting. It's a stupid movie. It's a terrible movie.
Well, see, then you didn't waste the entire time in
Right,
the movie
I didn't waste the whole time.
Yeah,
And then we have Batman and Robin.
And we did see that one together.
Yes, 1997. This is the one with Arnold as Mr. Freeze. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
And Uma as Poison Ivy, with Clooney as Batman. Mm-hmm. The one that killed the franchise?
Yes, that one.
Where Alfred makes a rubber costume for his grandniece.
Yeah,
There's these stupid freeze puns. There's plot holes you could drive a bat boat through.
Yeah, that was just a horrible movie. But, it wasn't a complete waste of time because we were together.
Exactly.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Then we move on to Sin City in 2005. Now, this technically doesn't count as we went to the theater because we didn't. We saw it on DVD.
Yes, it's based on a comic book.
Yeah.
And I think you've probably even read the comic, haven't you?
I've read some of it.
But, it was like, ooh, I'm going to get it for Mark for his birthday. I was so excited.
Yes. And it turned out to be misogyny, blood aplenty.
Oh my gosh.
We got about 30 minutes into the movie and we looked at each other and said, let's get out another movie.
Yeah. And I think that we even gave that DVD away or something.
To somebody apparently we didn't like.
Yeah. Now, I tell you, there's a couple that for me are really bad.
Yeah.
And Starship Troopers. It's not that the movie was horrible, although it kind of was, but I love the book. Mm-hmm. As a young person, it was a really neat book. Now, the book, though, was full of stereotypes and sort of, they had women in one section and men in another, It was by Heinlein, and he did that.
Right.
And they didn't want that in the movie, and so the book didn't translate well to the movie because they couldn't do the things in the movie that they did in the book.
Right.
And then it just wasn't well done.
And it didn't help that for the most part you had terrible model/actors in most of the roles.
Yeah. Neil Patrick Harris was in it.
Yeah. But he's the exception. The rest of them, ugh.
Yeah. But I don't know. It was...
And in fact, it's so bad that we, last year, went to go see Riff Tracks, which is a group that spun out of Mystery Science Theater.
Yeah.
And they do these live shows where you can go to a local theater and they broadcast it to that theater. And they did Starship Troopers last year.
Yeah.
And it's definitely a riffable film.
It is. Now, back in 1989, about the time you were watching Wired,
yeah,
I went to the theater to see The Cook, The Thief, His Wife, and Her Lover. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I really don't remember much about it, except I walked out of there feeling so disgusting. And I was like, that is the worst movie I have ever seen in my entire life.
Wow.
You know, and quite frankly, now that I'm talking about it, I'm remembering another one that I saw before that when I was in high school, which was like Nasty Habits about nuns or something. Mm. And that was bad. But The Cook, His Wife, the Thief, His Wife, and Her Lover, blah, 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 was even worse. And this had Helen Mirren in it.
Wow.
I mean, she must have been pretty young then. I mean, well
89, relatively. But, yeah,
but you
don't always get winners as an actor.
But it was a British-French film, so, you know. Yeah.
So just some ideas as to movies you should probably avoid.
Or if you really want to go see if they're as bad as we said they were, you can.
Right. Yeah, but I wouldn't go to a theater to see them. You know, I'm sure they're streaming somewhere, you know.
Streaming or on the dollar DVD
Red
rack.
box,
So, watch those, send us your comments, and then check out our audio podcast, How I Got My Wife to Read Comics, on iTunes or on our website, sfpodcastnetwork.com. From the Pop Culture Bunker, I'm Mindy.
And I'm Mark. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye-bye.